Hello, sixth grade Bobcats, Mr. Flato here. Welcome back to what I really hope will be a fantastic week for you at the Helena Middle School. And this week's B.O.B Lesson, I got to sit down with the governor of the state of Montana, Mr. Steve Bullock. I actually did this interview last spring, but some of the things we talked about and our outlook on the importance of school, on education, in one day getting a fulfilling career and how important that is, forever holds true. If you think about it, the main reason we are here in school today is so that by the time you become my age or you become an adult, you are able to go out into the workplace and do something, produce a good or service that somebody will pay you for. And hopefully that falls within finding your purpose in life. I feel like this is my purpose. I'm meant to work with kids, make cool B.O.B lessons, hang out with middle schoolers, help them through their stuff. I feel like that's my purpose in life, and that's a pretty good feeling. And I want that same thing for all of you someday. So let's get rock and roll on this B.O.B lesson, naming this an interview with Governor Bullock, and let's make sure we go out and finish these next few weeks to the best of our ability and go out and make it a great week at the Helena Middle School. All right, this week's B.O.B lesson is an interview with Governor Bullock. But first, let's be our best this week at HMS. Let's be B.O.B. Let's be safe, let's be responsible, let's be respectful, and let's be a learner. Hey Bobcats, Mr. Flato here. Have a special B.O.B lesson for you today. I'm here with Governor Steve Bullock. Mr. Bullock, thank you for doing this today.
It's great to be with you, Mr. Flato.
Awesome. We are very lucky to be in the state capitol, and so I had to get Mr. Bullock in on a B.O.B lesson. And me and Mr. Bullock today are just going to talk about general education things and why education is so important. And we try to prepare you guys for being adults someday and how important it is to have capable, fully functioning adults out in the workplace. When you get to be in the real world, you get to be our age where you have bills to pay, you got to take care of yourself, some of that important stuff. And so we're going to spend a little time today, maybe a little question and answer with Mr. Bullock. And I hope you guys really tune in, put your smartphones down. Put your homework down, quit giggling and joking with your neighbor because this is going to be an awesome B.O.B lesson. So without further ado, we're going to get going and talking about some stuff with Mr. Bullock. So Mr. Bullock, you're now the governor of the great state of Montana, but it wasn't too long ago when you were a student. Did you grow up? Where'd you grow up at?
No, I actually, Bobcats, I sat in basically those same desks that you did. I mean, I'm a product of our public school system. I was at Smith School for grades 1 through 6, delivered newspapers, the governor's house as a kid. Never thought necessarily that I'd be living in that house. Then was at the time we called it Helena Junior High, not HMS, and then went on to Helena Middle School. And to this day, as I think of sort of what I am, and what I've accomplished, that I can go back to that public education that I received that is so essential to that. And it really is what makes, from my perspective, it's a great equalizer. Takes everybody in that school and gives them that opportunity to be whatever they want to be. And that's something that whether you're in, I think, 6th, 7th, or 8th grade, you sure don't have to have figured out today. You don't need to know today what you want to be when you grow up. For some reason, I decided in 3rd grade I want to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
But you don't have to know. But what you do have to recognize is that each and every day, in some ways, you face crossroads. And those crossroads are, do you want to be that success or statistic? And it is the education system that allowed me, I think, to ultimately become governor. It was teachers along the way that helped me out. And I'll tell you, I didn't always take classes as seriously as I could have. I mean, I wasn't, my wife was a straight A student all the way through. That was certainly not me. I was middle of the pack often, but it is one of these that even today I can look back and say that what I learned high school, what I learned along the way gave me that foundation to be who and what I am today.
Awesome. And we've been talking a lot about, I haven't gotten into careers yet. That's how we're going to finish the school year. But I have talked about that 12 to 19 years old, trying to figure out who I am and what I'm about. And so when you speak about, you don't have to decide that today. That's very true. I think you would agree with me that building that foundation and learning those skills, so that when you do start to decide, whether it's in third grade I want to be a lawyer, or whether it is when I was 28 I decided I wanted to be a school counselor, you've built that foundation and you can now access that education or what it is that you need to go out and live the life and work in the career that you want to work in.
No, and that's exactly right. I'd say, well, on the one hand, I wanted to be a lawyer. I didn't even know any lawyers. If I look over the course of my life, I've had 20, 25 different jobs, everything from a tour boat driver out the gates of the mountains to a lawyer to now governor. But it really is for the platform, both the hard skills and the soft skills are what you can gain in school. The hard skills meaning that at times you might sit in a math class and say, why do I need to know this? Yep. But ultimately, whatever career you're in, if it's just balancing and taking care of your own finances, you need those skills. Mm-hmm. And the soft skills of learning how to speak, learning how to write, learning how to communicate. Communication is so essential. Yep. And that does form a lot of the foundation, I think, for whatever career you might want to do.
Yeah. Communication, problem solving, we talk about it all the time. English and math classes are so important, but you learn so many other skills along the way. What would you say to some of those middle schoolers that say, you know what, I'm going to wait till high school to really get going on this, or it doesn't matter until high school starts? Because I seem to hear that with some of our 8th graders. I don't know if you can put yourself back in when you were at HMS and maybe some of your thoughts when you were 11 to 14 years old.
Well, and yeah, I mean, look, we all create our own path, but by the same token, you got to realize that it's cumulative, meaning what you do today in 8th grade will shape what happens in high school. What you do in high school is that record that will be with you all of your life, but not only the record, it'll be the skills that you attain. Yeah. And so often in life, and many 8th graders might be able to look back and say, wasn't it cool back in 3rd grade when I did X, Y, and Z and stuff like that? Yeah. As we get older, you realize what you're given each day in school is an opportunity. Mm-hmm. And you don't always realize it in the middle of every single day, but as you look back, it's an opportunity to learn, an opportunity to engage, an opportunity to both succeed and allow yourself to fail, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. I can say that I have learned more throughout my life by times that I've fallen short. Mm-hmm. I've tried, but I've fallen short, but I took the risk to do that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not unique. If you think Henry Ford went broke 5 times before he succeeded.
That's who started Ford Motor Company, by the way, for those of you. Any final pieces of advice or anything you can tell our HMS Bobcats as they continue on their journey, whether they're a 6th grader or an 8th grader about to start high school? Because, going to school every day, it can be a grind, just like being a school counselor day in, day out can be a grind. Being the governor of the state of Montana can be a grind. But I know finding the right career is so important because I love coming to work every day. I'm sure if I asked you that question, you would say the same. Any final advice?
On the career side and the education side, on the career side, think about what's going to give you passion. What, as Mr. Flato says, that he can wake up each day and say, I'm excited about doing it. Because there are often, especially maybe at middle school, you think, I just got to go out and make a whole bunch of money, or I need to do X, Y, and Z. Mm-hmm. It really is what's going to drive you is if you're passionate about what you choose to do, you'll also be successful in that. And that recognize that the platform that builds off all of that is what's happening in your lives right now. It's the education that you receive, and you are given a gift each and every day. And I know it doesn't always seem like it, but the gift is that there are teachers, there's counselors, everybody says, I want you to be able to fulfill your potential, whatever that is. And that potential could be anywhere from, being the best mechanic here in Helena, the best rancher or farmer, the president of the United States, whatever it is, but you're given that gift each and every day to engage, to learn, and make sure to recognize that it is a gift. And it is something that not only do your teachers care about your successes, everybody here in the Capitol cares about your successes, because you will also be the leaders of our community and our state in the future.
Awesome. Well, thanks, Mr. Bullock. I really appreciate
Mr.
that.
Flato, thanks for letting me be part of a Bob Lesson.
Absolutely. Hope you guys like that, Bobcats. All right, Bobcats, I hope you guys liked that interview. That was really cool to do. I hope you guys got some good information out of that, maybe something to inspire you, something to help you on your way. This week's quote of the week seems very fitting from the interview I just did, and it is, "You become what you believe." And I think that's so important. I think how we view ourselves and what we view our lives to be, what goals we have for our lives, what expectations we have for our lives, our lives are going to fall right in line with that. So let's have lots of positive self-talk this week and for the rest of our lives. Let's goal set. Let's have high expectations of ourselves, and hopefully we will meet those expectations and become what we believe. All right, this week's JellyBean question of the week winners are Izzy Snell, Liam Lassiter, Kylie May, Jade Ulis, and Morgan Hayes. Come see me after school for some jelly beans. This week's JellyBean question of the week is, if 1 plus 4 equals 5, and 2 plus 5 equals 12, and 3 plus 6 equals 21, what is 8 plus 11 equal? If you think you know, submit your answer into the Bob box no later than Friday. All right, 6th graders, got a few weeks to go here. Let's keep our foots on the gas pedal metaphorically. Let's come to school every day looking to learn and finish this school year strong.